Good news, everybody. This is Wolfo Tech coming directly to you through the power of the internet via the YouTube video sharing platform. And this video is about, as you probably see with the title card, about the 1920 Paramount Pictures version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a silent era movie that's in black and white, and there are three major characters. I had to look at their names: John Barrymore, Martha Mansfield, and Brandon Hurst. As far as the movie is concerned, let's talk first and foremost the cinematography, the visuals. Let's just simply say that it is very well done as far as the visuals are concerned. The darkness, the dankness, the mist in various scenes are quite well done. By the way, this is the non-spoilers video, so I'm going to also put that in the card or in the description, and I'll put more information in the description. It is very well done. It moves from the opulence and the filth of the era in which the story takes place. And quite simply, it is quite well done. I can't say much more to that. It looks quite well for a very old movie. Now on to the next part, which is the acting. The vast majority of the characters, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is done by John Barrymore, he does an exceptional job with both characters. He shifts in mood very well. In fact, he is very good at manipulating his posture and form to effectively create a transformation with minimal makeup and still look as if he's a totally different individual, or a very noticeably different individual than in the other one. There's clearly a very good differentiation between Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And he does this with very little makeup at the beginning, the very first transformation. And he does this just by shifting the angle of his head and angling his body and changing the manner in which he moves, clearly creates the actual effect of him being a different person in that moment. And he does quite well. And many of the other actors that are in the movie are very good at directing their gaze and changing how they move depending on the moment, and they do exceptionally well. The only thing I kind of feel like off is the character of Millicent, and she's played by Martha Mansfield. Millicent wasn't in the original story, but she was in a play adaptation that was made after the original book, but a few years just before the movie was made. Okay, and all I can say is she kind of just like a really stiff character with not much. She was classically ladylike, but in a very stiff manner, and there's not a whole lot of emotion. She's just not even the blinking part. It's just like, it's very clean and minimal. I mean, like super minimal action. She's just like, she walks up to someone and she looks at them, and there's cards that show up that whenever a character talks and some important information, there's a little card that pops up, and there's little philosophy cards that pop up talking about the nature of people. There's actually a whole series of really interesting imagery throughout this movie between the characters that could be spun into a message about drug use, the immortal soul, the difference between good and evil, a multitude of other things, human nature and psychology. Could make a dozen other videos talking about those little sub subjects just on this movie alone. There is a lot of little details built in. Uh, it is quite interesting. She was probably, as far as I'm concerned, probably the weakest of the actors. Nita Nadalti, can't remember. Nina Nadalti, I can't remember the exact pronunciation of her name, but she was a dancer at a music hall, and she is actually a better actress than Martha Mansfield. There's a lot more authentic emotions, and you could see that she's actually Nita Nadalti. Yeah, it's like a side character. It's like a B tier character and actress kind of outdoes the main actress. So, okay, Martha Mansfield, who plays Millicent, only really starts to act more like a person at the very end of the movie, but that's basically it. There is very good lighting and very interesting choices of lighting, by the way, in this movie. I'm sorry I'm bouncing all over the place on this. I'm just saying that how it's all, the effects are done very well. The acting is done very well for the most part. The only thing I could like throw a rock at is the music. Now, important detail about silent era films is they don't have regular audio. Like, you're listening to me talk, and I'm just like, hey, there's sound coming out, okay? In silent era films, you would not be hearing me talk, and you would not be hearing any sound of anything happen. Okay? If it was something important I said, there'll be a card that flashes up that says basically what I said. Or some philosophical or a vignette, a little moment explaining the changes of the moment that are occurring. These happen intermittently, and there's a clump of them here, and then there's a long section where it's just the actors going through the movements, and then you'll get a card for like one of the characters, and okay. But as far as the sound is concerned, it is basically piano, organ, and violin playing in the background. It's basically just a series of songs playing throughout the movie. And the issue I have with that is that some of the music is really on point with what's happening in the scene, and even some of the music touches at a mood that is just under the surface. But then there's a lot of times where there's a song there that's playing that is like kind of off. And I don't mean like off as in it makes you uncomfortable like a good horror movie music does and a few other things. I mean like it doesn't fit the scene. It's like a happy, upbeat song that's happening during like a down moment or a down. Not even that. It's worse than that. But that's basically like the biggest gripe I have with this movie is that there's just literally just moments where the music just doesn't mesh into the movie. The actors do a really good job. The writing is very good. As far as the writing is concerned, the choice of some of the words I don't care for as much, but that's like between the visuals, which is higher end of effectiveness, and the acting is upper end, with the exception of like the one character Millicent, which is like It's kind of like she's a board, uh, and then there is the sound, which is it's anywhere from good to yeah. So that's kind of how this movie comes out. It is a decent movie. If you can basically watch a silent film, I would say this is a good movie to watch. It is about it's on the wiki it says Wikipedia says it's 79 minutes long, and on when I play it and I check the timestamp, it comes out to 1 hour and 21 minutes and 47 seconds. And then on the box, it says it's 82 minutes long. So there is a bit of a discrepancy between those pieces there. So it's not exactly the time length. And so I would say it's 1 hour and 22 minutes long. It would be 1 hour and 21 and 47 seconds long. It starts up, it ends right after the last scene. There's no credits. It just right there. So that is basically your run time right there. It's 1 hour and 22 minutes. It's a simplified answer to that one, and that's from me watching it. So if you very much like this video, please hit the like button. If you disliked this video, hit the dislike button. If you want me to review any other movies, I have like lots of movies. I got like dozens of these box sets, and I got hundreds of other singles and double packs. Go ahead and suggest something. I already have my next dozen or so videos already planned out. Okay? And by the way, this movie is public domain, so I could literally just turn this on and just leave it on, okay? And what the little book says of the movie is Dr. Henry Jekyll, John Barrymore, is working on separating the good and evil aspects from a person's persona, comes up with a potion that holds the key. Using himself as a guinea pig, Dr. Jekyll drinks his formula and is transformed into the evil Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde's activities are a scandal of the city and are a major thorough secret embarrassment to the kindly Dr. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll attempts to keep his connection to Dr. Hyde a secret. All the while, he cannot put aside the aspect of his personality which he has released, which is pretty accurate for the most part. There's a few more things, but I would have to like tell you the little story, and this is the no spoilers review. Okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.